Hi everyone, welcome to Riverdale Public Library. I'm Ms. Helen, and today is story time with Craft. So, are you ready for the hello song? Say yes, I am. It goes to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Hello, hello, it's story time today. Hello, hello, we're on our way. We'll clap our hands and we'll wiggle our toes, bounce and sing some rows. Hello, hello, it's story time today. We're so glad you've come to play. And today's story does involve play. It's about using your imagination, and which is a way of playing. And it's about a girl named Millie, and she imagines that she has many marvelous hats. Or one hat, but that hat keeps changing. She imagines that it changes all the time. And this is Millie's Marvelous Hat by Satoshi Kitamura. And there she is. Wow. Is that a hat on her head? Looks like a skyscraper. Do you think that's real or make-believe? It is make-believe. She is using her imagination. That's when you make believe, using your imagination. Millie was walking home from school when she came across a hat store. There were lots of hats in the window, but the one she liked best was the one with the colorful feathers. May I see the hat with the colorful feathers, please? She asked the man behind the counter. Certainly, madam, replied the man, and he fetched the hat from the window. Millie tried it on. It suited her perfectly. I'll take it, she said. An excellent choice, madam, said the man. That will be $599.99. Do you have do you usually carry around $599.99? Probably not. Well, Millie, she didn't want to say anything, so she opened up her purse and looked inside. Well, oh dear, she said. Do you have anything a little cheaper? What price were you thinking of, madam? Asked the man kindly. Well, I think about this much, said Millie, and showed him her purse. It was empty. I see, muttered the man, and he looked at the ceiling. That means he's thinking, what do I do? She wants a free hat. Millie looked at the ceiling too. It was covered with interesting patterns. Aha, the man said. I think I have just the thing for you. Wait a moment, please. And away he went to the back of his shop. A few minutes, he returned with a box in his hands. He placed it on a table and removed the cover. This is a most marvelous hat, madam, he said. It can be any shape and any color you wish. So he brought out a special hat, a round box. He brought out a special round box. It's called a hat box. And he said, the hat in here can be anything you want it to be. All you have to do is imagine it. Carefully, the man took the hat out of the box and put it on Millie's head. It fit her perfectly. Thank you, said Millie. I like it very much. She put her hand in her purse and handed the man everything she had in it. Thank you, madam, said the man. Would you like your hat in its box? No, thank you, said Millie. I'll take it as it is. So she walks out the store with a box, a hat box, with a real hat. Did she have money for a real hat? Nope, but that's okay because now she has an imaginary hat. Millie felt happy in her new hat. But I must think of what my hat is going to look like, she thought. Perhaps it has lots of feathers, like the one in the shop window. Only even more feathers. Oh, that's a lot of feathers. What kind of bird is she imagining on her head? That's right. Peacock. A peacock with its long, beautiful feathers. Ah, if you look closely, the other birds are thinking, whoa, that's some bird hat. They're looking up in wonder. And here it is. It was a peacock hat. You see? Right there on her head. A peacock hat. Millie stopped outside a bakery, a cake shop, and looked in the window. All the cakes looked delicious. So, Millie had a cake hat. That's a lot of cake. When Millie passed a flower shop, her hat became flowery. Here it is. And in the park, she wore a fountain hat. And if you look closely, you see even the water is coming out. A fountain hat. Suddenly, Millie saw that she was not the only person with a special hat. So now she's not just imagining that she's wearing an interesting hat. She imagines that the other children and grown-ups are wearing special hats too. A sailboat hat and a car hat and a tea party hat. Oh, and he's got, it's this one. He's got an ice cream sundae hat. And he's got a sinking ship hat, Titanic hat. Maybe he's reading about the Titanic. everyone had a hat of their own, and they were all different. Now, I'm going to show you this picture. It's a big picture. I'm going to show you parts of it for a few minutes. And I want you to think, what kind of hats do you see? For example, the skateboarder has a, looks like a spaceship hat from Star Wars. And the lady walking here has a vacuum cleaner hat. That's ridiculous, but very funny. And a seal hat. So as I show you the picture, have a good look at what people are wearing on their heads. Even the dog has a open can of dog food on his head. He's got a globe. She's got a seagull. She saw an old lady who was wearing a dark, murky pond hat. So she had a pond of water on top of her hat. And then Millie imagined that some birds flew over and landed in the pond. And then a fish leaped out of Millie's hat and onto the old lady's hat. Millie felt like singing. There's the lady with the pond hat. Now there's a swan on top and a fish, and he's got a boat hat. Millie felt like singing. Her hat is full of birds. And so did her hat. So not only does she have this amazing hat, whatever is in her hat is singing. It is a musical hat. All this music coming out of her hat. By the time Millie arrived back home, her hat had grown so tall that she couldn't walk through the door. It was just too big. So look at how tall it is now. I don't think she can get in the house. So she thought of a shorter hat. And she walked in the door. "How do you like my new hat?" she asked when she saw her mom and dad. "New hat?" said her mom, "but I don't see any." Oh, she stopped and smiled. "I see, Millie. It's a marvelous hat. I wish I had one too." "But you can. You do have one," said Millie. "You only have to imagine it." And she was right. Everyone has their own hat. Oh my, look at her dad's hat. Take a good look. What do you see on his head? A penguin. Yes, that's very silly. But I think it would be fun. So her mom has a hat with I see a squirrel in there and a bird and a rabbit. And that is the end. So whenever you want to use your imagination, you can do anything. You can imagine that you are wearing a boat on your head, or a squirrel on your head, that you are wearing a hat that is full of singing birds, or a hat that looks like the Empire State Building. Anything you want. So, and we are going to do a hat craft today. It's not an imaginary hat. We're going to make a real one. But you'll use your imagination and your creativity to decide how you want to make your hat. So, as a hint for what kind of hat we're going to make, we're going to sing the color song. And we're going to do 3 special colors today. And the color song, if you remember, goes like this. And we're going to start with the color red. Can you find the color red, the color red, the color red? Can you find the color red? Somewhere in this room. Well, I found this piece of paper. Do you see anything red in the room you're in? Oh, look, I found a red feather. That's going to be for a hat. And I found a red pipe cleaner. And a red pom-pom. And a red sequin. So that is red. And our next color is going to be white. So sing along with me. Can you find the color white, the color white, the color white? Can you find the color white somewhere in this room? And here I have a white feather. Do you see anything white in the room besides the white walls? There's a white pom-pom, a white sequin, and so we started with red, then we went to white. What do you think the last color is? We have red, white, and right, blue. Here's some blue. Can you find the color blue, the color blue, the color blue? Can you find the color blue somewhere in this room? And here's some blue on the scissors. And I see a blue pom-pom and a little tiny blue straw and blue sequins, blue sequin. So those are our 3 colors for today. So let's do it again. Can you find the color red, the color red, the color red? Can you find the color red somewhere in this room? Can you find the color white, the color white, the color white? Can you find the color white somewhere in this room? And our last one, what color is it? It is blue. Can you find the color blue, the color blue, the color blue? Can you find the color blue somewhere in this room? And why do you think I did red, white, and blue today? Because in a few days it is July 4th, American Independence Day, and red, white, and blue are the colors in the American flag. So we are going to make a red, white, and blue hat. And I sent home some supplies, or you might have some supplies of your own, such as the ones that I just showed you in the song. But you can be creative and make the hat any way you want. You can watch how I do it, but you try to do it your way too. Just like Millie thought of, only the kinds of hats she could think of, on other people, on herself, the hats doing different things. She really used her imagination. So I want you to imagine that you are a great designer like Millie, great hat designer like Millie. And I want you to design the hat however you want. So let's see, I'm going to work on it now. And you can follow along and take your supplies and make your hat. Now, all of you should have a red band, but if you don't have a band, you can take some construction paper and cut it out. And it could be red, it can be white, or it can be blue. In this case, it's red. And then you can take a stapler and close it. Now, I took some other paper though, other pieces of red paper, some strips here, and I decided to add something to the hat to make it a little more interesting. So here's my hat, and I'm going to take this strip of paper, and bend it over just like this, so it looks kind of like a leaf. And I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to take either glue will work, or in this case I'm using a stapler, and I'm going to staple it just to the top part of the hat, of the main part, so that it sticks up. Okay, so when you're done, you're going to have something like this. And then I took 2 more strips of paper, and I'm going to do 2 more of these. If you have a lot of paper, you could go all the way around like that. And I bend them over, make a leaf shape, and I press them on each side of the crown. That, well, it's starting to look like a crown, a hat. Crown is a kind of hat. And I've got another one. Now I'm going to do a third one. So now I have a very nicely shaped hat, but I've got all these things to decorate it with. For example, I have pipe cleaner. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to bend it over, and then cut it in half, chop. And then I'm just going to do something with the loops on this, the 2 loops on the side. I'm going to loop it through. And then take the ends and just twist them a little to close the top. So that now I have a loop around the loop. I'm going to take the other end, do the same thing, push it through this way, and tie it closed. So now on each side, I have a loop in the loop. Well, we've been doing a lot of red so far, haven't we? So how about we move on to white? Okay, so I've got 2 white feathers here, and I'm just going to take one of them though, and I'm going to glue it right on the front of the loop here. So I'm going to take some glue, just dip the bottom, not the whole feather, bottom part in the glue, and then tie the hat on its side and put the feather right in front. And there you have it. Okay, so now I've decorated all 3 of these little loops in front, but we have all of these little pieces of cotton, and I have some sequins as well. And I even have these little straws. And we haven't, what color have we not used yet? That's right, blue. Blue's saying, hey, what about me? So I'm going to do something next with the blue straws. Okay, I'm going to take just a stick or something to lift up the glue with. I'm going to dip it in the glue. I'm going to put a little glue right in between. And on each side of those loops on top of the hat. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots of glue there. And I'm going to take each straw and glue them. Put them right where that glue is. And you're going to have to stop for a few minutes and give this a chance to dry, because as you're putting on more things, the others might fall off. So I'm going to stop for a moment and let this dry before moving on to the next things. Now we have all these pom-poms, all these red, white, and blue pom-poms. So while you're letting the glue dry, what I want you to do is imagine how you want to design them. Maybe you want to make them into your initial. Your initial is the first letter of your name. So let's say your name is Marcus, then the first letter is the letter M. And let's say the first letter of your name is Sarah, the first letter of your name is an S. So think of what your initial is, and then you can take your cotton balls and arrange them into the first letter of your name, your initial. But don't glue them yet, because we're still waiting for the glue to dry on this. Okay, so the first letter, actually I'm going to put L for library, and I'm going to make an L out of the pom-poms. I'm going to do red, white, and blue in that order. Red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, and red, white, and blue. So now I have L for library. And by now, if the glue is almost dry on the rest of yours, then what you do is take a stick or something you use to put your glue on, and you're going to, with the glue, put the shape of the letter you're going to make. I'm actually going to add a little bit of glue here so we have enough. Or what you could do is you can dip each pom-pom in. That works too. Dip it carefully. And we're going to put it on our hat. Here's L. I'm going to make an L. Red, white, and blue. red, dipping the glue, white, dipping this piece, and blue, dipping the blue piece, and then red, white, and blue. And there, I now have L for library. Let's see right here. But I'm also going to let the glue dry on that before moving on. Now I have a few other things. I have some sequins. And sequins, they look good no matter where you put them. So I'm just going to take some glue and make some dots around the hat. Okay, and I'm going to start putting on the sequins. And blue. And blue. White. And blue. And red. And blue. So now I've put some sequins just all around the hat. Okay. And I'm actually going to add a couple of sequins to the loops at the top. One here. One right in front of there, and one here. Actually, I want to go with a different color there. Red. And some blue there. Okay, and if you have other things to add to your hat, you can do that. Whoops, uh-oh, get everyone fall off. Just dip some more glue in, put it back there. And looks like I am done with my hat. Have fun finishing your hat. And even when you, whoopsie, even when you don't have a hat, you can always do what Millie did and imagine the most marvelous, fantastic, interesting, amazing, awesome hat ever. And here we go. I am not going to turn it because I know the glue is not dry. And I did anyway, and they fell off. That's why you always have to let the glue dry. And there. I am going to let mine dry. And you don't have to use the materials on here. You can use whatever materials you have at home. But I thought for 4th of July, red, white, and blue was in order. So have fun making your hats. And now it's time for the goodbye song until the middle of July when we will start up story time again. So, are you ready for the goodbye song, which is to the tune of London Bridge? Goodbye, goodbye, I'll see you soon, see you soon, see you soon. Goodbye, goodbye, I'll see you soon on another day. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. We will see you back in mid-July. And bye, everybody.